Oh, okay, okay. Sorry. What's good, everybody? Welcome into the last word, part of the Behind the Universe, Behind the Turnbuckle Universe. I am your boy, the coach, and we are here every single Monday night. We're going to change the start time. Starting tonight, we're going to come up right at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and hopefully everything works on the X as well. Now, let's bring in my partner, who's always with me, no matter if we're doing interviews, no matter if we're doing the last word, no matter if we're doing our social segment every single Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. There he is right there, Big Tommy C. It is so nice to be on at 10 o'clock instead of 11:10 now, isn't it, Tommy? Good evening, sir.
I'm much more awake, Coach.
I can see that. I can see that. Very, very good. All right, so we're coming right off the main event tonight, and I've got to. I'm hearing, producer man. I'm hearing you in my ear. If you're, should I be hitting that other button? Uh, There we go. All right, we've got a new platform, Tommy. So we see Robbie in there, user
Yep.
in there. So we're moving everybody over here right now. All right, so tonight we had the Fatal Four Way. It was Seth, it was Dom, it was Sheamus, and it was Damian Priest. And the point of a Fatal Four Way, Tommy, is to make sure everybody gets over. Did you think everybody got over in this match?
I thought Dom really got over big time there. Seth is Seth, and Damon and Sheamus. I thought it was a good match, and I think storylines are going to be extended here from what we saw in this match.
Is that all you got? You
No,
think storylines are going to be extended here by what you think? You think so? That's the whole
yeah,
point of Monday Night Raw, Tommy. You think
no,
so?
but I was referencing between Seth and Bronson Reed, which I
Oh, I
thought
got
was going to end, but seeing what happened at Crown Jewel and how Seth put him over a little bit, how tough he was, I think this is going to go on a little bit longer than I expected. And we saw at the end, I'm very happy. I love Damian Priest being able to go at it with Gunther once again. He's my guy. I like him a lot. I thought Dom represented himself really well tonight. And Sheamus is Sheamus. Sheamus always gives you a banger match.
And I thought Michael Cole did a good job of reminding us why Sheamus was in this match to begin with. 15 years, four-time world champion, king of the ring, blah, blah, blah. Because I think sometimes when you're in the WWE for a really, really long time, people forget how good you were or if you weren't in the world championship picture for a long time. So I thought Cole did a good job of that. But I thought Dom is starting to, just like with Liv, and we'll get to the ladies in a moment, he is starting to belong in these big matches. His work rate has gotten really good, and they did a fantastic job tonight of almost making us believe he
Yeah.
was going to get the job done, didn't they?
Yeah. Yes, they sure did. There was a couple false finishes there with Dom, and man, I'm like, why are they really going to put Dom over now this early in his career to have him have a title match? And I thought it was the match was laid out very well tonight. I thought.
Did you hear what Cole said? By the way, user 279. If you guys have any questions, put them into the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can. Let's read this one real quick. He said, I was confused on the commentary when they said Priest had a rematch somewhere down the road. I thought it was for Survivor Series. I don't know that they've ever laid that
No.
out when Gunther beat it was Gunther who beat Priest. Priest lost it to Gunther, but and that's always one of the most confusing things in the WWE because let's remember, everybody watching right now, they make this stuff up. These are written out storylines. It's not a real football game or a real basketball game. So, yeah, you're supposed to get a rematch. You're supposed to get one down the road. But if they forget to do it, I remember when I was there, Tommy, it was kind of an afterthought. And if it didn't fit into the storyline, we're like, maybe people will forget. Maybe people
Yeah.
will forget.
Yeah.
But Dom, I thought tonight when Cole, do you notice when Cole said, he goes, Dom could face Gunther? That'd be kind of fun. And I thought that's what I think people are thinking at home. The more you put this kid in against the big time players, it's almost like the underdog that you hate, but yet he's starting to fit in. And then you can start to have Liv start to wear off on him, saying, Dom, you're the guy. And I can see those vignettes coming. You believe in yourself. You're good enough. You're big enough. You're strong enough. And I can see those two, and they even mentioned it tonight, power couple. They are really starting to be a power couple.
Well, we talked about this months ago, right? That they should get the ball and run with it. Now look what they did with Liv. She won at Crown Jewel, right? She's got the ring now. Now it's called the World Tour. The ball is in her court right now. Rhea's going to be out for a while, and she's going to the next level. And she's bringing Dom and Raquel with her, and along with Dom and Raquel, they're going to just blow up, man. She's going to blow up right now. Liv is at a really good spot in the company right now.
Will you let me get to that storyline next, Tommy? You just went there
Oh,
before I even got there. I wasn't done with the main event yet.
oh,
Damn,
I'm
Tommy,
sorry.
you
I'm
are
sorry.
you are wide awake tonight. All right. So we'll leave it there. Producer Tommy is going to tell us where we need to go. So let's go to that because they started the show off tonight with Liv coming out. And Tommy, I can admit when I am wrong. I can admit when somebody completely overdoes what I believe that they were going to do. And right here on BTT, we said that Liv didn't have the charisma, the longevity, the experience to be somebody that carries the women's division because of injuries, because of the legends being out, Becky, Charlotte, now Rhea again. Liv had to step up. And guess what, Tommy? She's stepping up and she's cutting really good promos and she's making us believe that she is this gigantic female star. And I'm here for it. And clearly you are too.
Oh, I'm here for it 100%, and I think Triple H is on board too. If you watch the show on Saturday, he's really proud of her. She stepped up her game. She's little in stature, but she's a big, big, big time superstar, and she's got a really big personality. And I think she's going to take the women's division up to the next level, along with herself, Dom, and Raquel. Man, it's shooting stars for them right now.
But it begs the question, Tommy, against two, because here's one of the issues I had over the weekend. Nate G says, I thought that Liv over Nia looked a little weird on the finish at Crown Jewel. All right. And that was a concern of mine because when you have two people who are so different in stature, you had to figure out a way. And Tommy, they never added any stipulation to it. It was a straight match, and they had to figure out a way. And for Liv to make it believable, I thought it was a little bit weird. But the right person won because to me, you're not going to hit your wagons to Nia Jax. That's not who you want to be the face of your women. Are you kidding me right now? Would you
Yeah.
ever do that? Would you ever do that?
No, you
The answer is
wouldn't,
no.
and especially being the first Crown Jewel champ, and I hate to say it. I mean that title. I mean her title's almost irrelevant. Nobody even talks about it. It's not even relevant on SmackDown. You know, Bailey had it, nobody cared. Nia has it, nobody cares, and that's why
Tommy,
I think it's. Go ahead. I'm
Tommy,
sorry.
you've got like 6 girls. There's literally like 6 women that are fighting for both championships. This is why they need to combine the two. There shouldn't be 2 women's champions. There just shouldn't be. But I also said this that the Crown Jewel title was not going to leave Saudi Arabia. And did you notice they're putting it in the museum, the WWE experience in Saudi Arabia? But she had that ring on tonight. She had that ring on tonight.
Yes, she did.
But guess who came out with them? And this is where I wanted to go. Jade and Bianca Belair. And apparently their egos are so big, Tommy, they had to have separate entrances. They can't come out. They're the tag team champions of the world. You don't have one song, you don't have one entrance. That's the first thing. And we know that they do not get along. How we know, I'm not at liberty to tell you, but I know that they do not get along. So what did Liv do? They planted the seed for the breakup.
Poke
But
the
then
bear.
poke the bear. But Tommy, did you notice that I believe it was Jade? No, it was Bianca. Did you hear her say last night? Did you
Yes,
hear her say last night? Those
that's
little
bad.
details. It's
Yep.
bad. You're
Yep.
screaming to the audience. We're taping this show
Right.
because they taped it yesterday and then they all
Yep.
flew back today.
Yep.
So to me, you've got those little details. You've got to make sure everybody is on
Yep.
board because it may not be a big deal to a lot of people, but for me, who was a part of so many 519 Raws I was a part of, my first run, those details matter. And so
Yep.
to me, it was like, okay, it's taped. I don't really care, even though it shouldn't be that way, right?
That's right. You're absolutely right. And you know, she should know that. And I know back in the day when back in Gorilla there, they would if there was a tape show, this is Saturday. This is they would tell you what to say and how to say it. I mean, they had their own verbiage there. They work with a producer. Then you come out there and you say last night and you blow the whole friggin' thing. That's piss poor. And Liv got it right because she said
She
Saturday
saved
night.
it. She saved it.
She
She said
saved it.
Saturday. And that's what a real veteran does. They pivot and evolve on the spot. And you can start to see how comfortable she is in that spot. Bianca and Jade are not long for this tag team world. They're just not. They obviously don't get along. It's not like they're high five and they're not doing a bunch of tag team moves that we love from them. Their egos are so big. And I'm kind of on the Bianca Belair side. She's already main evented WrestleMania. She had to come down to Jade's level of workmanship just to give her the rub. So I'd be
Yeah.
pissed off too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and even in the match at Crown Jewel, Jade had a couple of messed up spots there. I thought the match was good, but man, once again, when the big lights are on, man, she cannot turn it on and off and perform as well as she's supposed to perform as her projected character is. It's like there were some spots and I'm like, oh, that could have hurt, or that, or this, or that. And I think Bianca's just tired of it, right? I mean, it's not doing anything for her career at all. Let's
Well,
face it.
Tommy, she had the reality show, and
Yeah,
4 years ago she was on top, and now you're in a tag team, and you've got Liv Morgan talking trash to you. She's
yeah,
got to feel like behind the scenes, go, where has my career gone?
yeah.
Nate says it top tier. Rick says, oh, he's talking Tampa Bay money play is looking pretty good. It's the third quarter, Rick. It's the third quarter, for God's sake. My Chiefs are losing by 7, but don't even worry about it. We'll get there. We'll get there. I think Bianca should go heel, give her a new dynamic, some more depth. Here's the problem, Tommy. If Bianca goes heel, Jade is simply not good enough on the mic to
No,
make you fall in love with her.
right.
And that's what a babyface has to do, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely right. Jade needs to be the heel. She was a heel in AEW. Heels don't have to really scream and holler that much. They can show you their attitude and everything like that. And quite frankly, I don't think she can carry it off as a baby face. I think Bianca is the ultimate baby face when she's with kids and all the things she's done in the
Mhm.
past. So if this happens, we know who the baby face is going to be, and it's going to be Bianca.
I mean, Bianca's a star. I mean,
Yeah,
Jade, the only thing in my opinion that Jade has is the look. Her
yep,
husband's a very wealthy baseball player. And when you don't have to work for it, when you don't have to get your hand down in the dirt, then you're naturally, most people don't try as hard. And
yep,
it's obvious to me she hasn't tried it on the mic. She's not trying it in the ring. And Bianca's done. She's
yeah,
done. And now
yeah.
with Rhea out for an extended period of time, you've got Becky out. And by the way, do you know some of these bogus dirt sheets, Tommy, quoting me about the Becky Lynch salary?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
coach
I
is wrong.
saw that.
I called my sources. If you listen to the whole damn show, we're talking about salaries in a general sense. And from what we know, not what we're speculating, Tommy, I said she asked for 2 million plus. If she would have gotten it, she would have signed.
Yeah,
But all these bogus dirt sheets are like, well, she seems happy. WWE's letting her off. And I'm like, you
I
guys know
saw.
nothing. You guys know nothing. You've never been backstage. You think Becky Lynch wants to be off for a year? That's like 10 years. And it's like dog years in wrestling.
Yeah,
You would
yeah,
never sit out that long unless you weren't happy with the offer they gave you. I don't
that's
care what
right.
anybody says. Right?
I saw that bogus one. Somebody wrote in comments, "Oh, coach is trying to be the new Vince Russo."
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I've literally been backstage for over 13 years. I
Yeah,
know how it works. I know. And Nate says Bliss has been out too. Well, Bliss had a baby, and so did Becky. Becky's is like 3 years old. Like this kid's a toddler now. I mean, she went on Ariel's show and she's like, I think we'll get a deal done. That's what she said. And if she didn't get it done, I know she's asking for a lot. Because Tommy, here's the deal. And I hate to get off on a rant here, but I can't stand these dirt sheet writers
yeah,
is that they don't understand backstage, all these superstars compare themselves to each other. And if you're Becky Lynch and you see that Rhea was out hurt at that time and Charlotte's out hurt at that time, you try to leverage that into a really big deal. And a really big deal for somebody like her is north of $2 million a year. That's just the number. You've got her husband who's making 5 to 6 million a year, or boyfriend, whatever Seth is. But Tommy, it's a new day in the financial world because all of these people have agents now. When I was there, Vince wouldn't even talk to an agent. That's
nope,
why the deals were much smaller.
Yep.
But now you got guys 10 million, 15, 20 million. So a top female star, it's very easy to believe that they would make or ask for over $2 million a year.
Yeah.
For what
Different
I do.
regime too. Different regime there at TKO and Nick Khan and Shapiro and all those guys. You gotta prove it to me again. If it was the old regime, everybody knew what Becky did. And here's the difference, man. These guys don't care. They're all business, man. Where the old regime kind of had like, he sympathetic to you. He liked what you did for him. Blah blah blah. I'm not going to go on with this, but it's a new day there, boy, and it's
It's a
big
new day.
time.
And they don't pay talent. They don't
No.
pay UFC talent. There's only like one or two. And that's the point
Yep.
I was trying to make when we were discussing that. Is that you got John Jones, Conor McGregor on the UFC side. They're kind of the only two that make the big, big money. And
Hmm.
we've already seen the COO said, we're going to do less events. We're going to charge more for tickets. So why would they overpay for talent in their minds?
Yep.
And it speaks, Tommy, we're right.
Yep.
Becky is sitting out because she didn't get a deal done. Plain
Yeah.
and simple. And if
Yep.
you don't get a deal done, it's not because you go, well, they offered me more than what I asked for. So I think I'm going to sit out because I just want to stay home and be out of the limelight and out of sight, out of
Mm-mm.
freaking mind.
No way.
Nobody's ever done that in the history of the business,
Nope.
ever.
But you shouldn't be in it. You
Or you
shouldn't be
shouldn't
in
be
it
in
if
it.
you're like that, right? It's
When you're
killing her that she's home. Killing her.
killing her, plus when she could be on top.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody to stop her. You watched
Nope.
that Royal Rumble tonight, and I actually was very
Oh,
entertained by it.
yeah, it was.
I thought it was pretty entertaining. But you
Yeah.
look at that entire ring, it's all the females. And that's one of the positives I take away from the Saudi Arabia shows. Because 2018, I was in the WWE. So were you. And women weren't even allowed to go over there for a show. Now, 6 years later, Triple H, we ran a soundbite on the Coach and Bro show. And he was talking about not only are the women participating, but the Saudi government is asking for more women to come and participate. Hence the battle royal tonight, which I love. I think it's spectacular. I cannot imagine, Tommy, to work in a business. And as a black man, I guess golf is the only thing I can compare it to where you're not even allowed to work in a country that your company's going to. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. It's
Can't
tough.
even, and so, but now it's
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah. It's changed big time. Even back in the day when even the women that worked TV production, they couldn't go.
That's
They couldn't
amazing.
go. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
User 279, realistically, what women are on Becky's level? There's only a few we could even consider. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. So if she's at the top of the game, and you've got Liv Morgan, who just signed a 5-year deal, Tommy.
That's right.
If I was to guess, and again, dirt sheets, I'm guessing here, I would say Liv's probably at $1 million, 750, something like
Cool.
that, because of the regime at TKO. They are not going to overpay for talent. They're just not
Mhm.
going to do it. I mean,
Yep.
we don't even see fireworks anymore. Now, I did think the set in Saudi Arabia was amazing. Did
Yeah,
you
it
see
looks
how
sharp.
big the set was? It did look sharp.
Yeah.
And the crowd's red hot. I see why they would tape Raw over there, but just don't tell me that it's taped. That's
Yeah.
all just don't tell
Yeah.
me that it's taped. But boy, that crowd. And from the numbers I've heard, Tommy, did you hear some of the numbers? That
No.
reportedly now that the deal has gone up, that it's north of $500 million total for what Saudi pays WWE for like the 10-year deal.
Wow.
500 million. Can you imagine?
And everybody
Uh,
laughed at that years ago.
So originally it was supposed to be $10 million a show, 2 shows a year, $20 million a year when Vince signed it back in 2018.
And he got
And then it's
crucified.
evolved. Oh, he got crucified. Oh, how
Yeah.
can you do business with them? Every
And
other sport, every company, everybody
entertainment.
does. Everybody's in Saudi Arabia now. Everybody.
Everybody. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we get through the battle royal, and then we have a. By the way, you're watching The Last Word, part of the BTT universe. If you have any questions for us, put them into the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can. So the Wyatt Six, Tommy, they at the end of the show last week, they kidnapped the Miz. So
Yep.
now we're seeing this Jackie Redmond or Kathy, whoever, doing the
Jackie
interview
Redmond.
with Jackie Redmond, doing the interview with Kofi and Xavier Woods. They start to
Yep.
get into an argument. And all of a sudden, we cut to the black and white. What did you make of the Miz with the thing over his mouth? And is he safe? Is Miz safe?
I got to tell you, they captured me back in tonight, Coach.
Did they?
That vignette was great. And nobody better could have done it than Miz. Nobody could have been in that position the way he was being captured like that. The facials, the what he was saying. That's why they picked Miz to do this, because he's so damn good. And it makes it so real. When he goes up in his ear, Uncle Howdy Davis Bo what's his name? I
Dallas?
can't think of it. Bo
Bo
Dallas
Dallas.
goes in his ear and said, "I'm interested in you, not the final testament," and his face, frig, that was the money right there. And I'm captured again for some reason, because WWE, that's one thing that, and as you know, for years, nobody has done better vignettes or TV production or packages than WWE. I was there 32 years. I've seen it all happen. And now they're capturing me back a little. And they're making Wyatt 6 a little mystery again. And what's going to happen to The Miz? Is he going to end up with Wyatt 6? Is Final Testament going to save him? Who knows? And I like the who done it in that right now.
If we're going to be negative, we got to be positive when it calls for it. And I think tonight they got very creative. Now, it's been several weeks since we've seen a really good Wyatt 6 vignette, but that's okay with me. I don't have
Yep.
to see it every single week. I don't have to see a
Nope.
certain talent every single week. That's always been
Nope.
such a misconception, that the big stars have got to be there every single week. Tommy, if Tom Cruise was on Monday Night Raw, or Brad Pitt, if we saw them every single week, they wouldn't be special anymore. And that's always been
That's
my
right.
argument when it comes to guys like that. Let's go to a couple of chat questions, Tommy. Coach and Tommy, who
Yep.
do you think Cena should be, face at WrestleMania? Should it be a title match? Okay, we'll answer that. But real quick, Tommy, we always have a segment that we release on Fridays around 11 a.m. Eastern Time. This week will be on Goldberg. Tonight on the show, they announced that they have signed a deal. Can't make it up. Signed a deal for Goldberg to have his retirement match, which I thought he's had 5 already, but whatever. I love him. I love him. Ric Flair's had 8. So we don't know when, we don't know where, but we're gonna have a full segment on that. Only 10 or 15 minutes. We never go an hour. Not
Yeah.
on those shows. So Tommy, John Cena, there has been a lot of talk as we're getting closer and closer to the final year of his career, and there are odds at Mybookie.ag, which sponsors the show. Use our promo code BTT. I'll give you new customers a sign-up bonus of 100% up to $1,000. So who do you think, Tommy? We're in November. We're only about 6 months away. The speculation has to start. Who do you think it might be?
Well, I called it a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know if it's going to last how long. I would think it'd be Gunther. If Gunther's still champ, I could see Cena beating Gunther and winning it for like the 17th time and breaking the record. I don't know if I could see him beating, if Seth is the champ or Damian Priest. For some reason, I think he can beat Gunther, and I'm not sure if he could beat Seth. If he beats Seth, is it so believable? Or Damian Priest? He's much bigger. So I said Gunther. I'm not sure Gunther's going to hold the title that long, though. So my guess would be Gunther, only if he owns the title. Other than that, it's a crapshoot. But I think he will be in some sort of way in a title match. He should be in a world title match, but maybe he could be an intercontinental match. I'm not sure.
Well, it's going to be interesting. By the way, Tommy, I'm getting a little bit distracted. Pat Mahomes just threw a touchdown, but it looks like he's being helped off. He can't walk right now.
Whoa.
It looks like he may have torn his ACL or
Get
something
out.
like that. I'm not kidding you. And he didn't even get hit. He just took like a bad step. And oh no. It's like you know what? He might be okay. It's like a hyperextension. He got a cut on the
Oh,
grass. His left knee. Oh my God. So he's not going to come back in the game. I can tell you that much right now. Wow. Wow, that's my guy too. Well, hopefully he didn't tear his ACL. He didn't get hit by anybody, but they have Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is a legitimate starter in the NFL, so it's going to be tied at 17-17. Robbie says injuries this season are insane, absolutely insane.
yep.
I got a little heat the other day, Tommy, because you never know who's actually looking at your social media, and I made a very innocent comment that when you're a company that wants to have a face and they love to say the most world time champion 16 17, I said, and I love Rick, we've been friends for years and years and years, but I said at this point, he's 79 years old and he's still out there
Yeah.
drinking and weed and the whole deal.
Yeah.
And I just said, if they're going to go to Netflix and they're going to have all of these museums and all this stuff, that wouldn't it be, and I'm looking at it from their perspective, not mine. And I said they would rather have John Cena as the most time world champion than Ric Flair. Oh, Tommy. It must have been blasphemy. I must have said something that I didn't realize what I said. Is that crazy? That Endeavor, you got to remember who owns the WWE now. They're a Hollywood company. John Cena is Hollywood. Ric Flair is the South. He's Atlanta, Georgia. He's WC. You know what I mean?
He's AEW.
Yeah. To me, it was an obvious thing to say, but apparently not to the OGs.
Let's think about this for a minute. So you got Ric Flair, who has like a weed company, and he does liquor, and he's 78. He's getting another divorce. He's been married like 1,000 times. And you got this clean-cut guy, John Cena, all his life, right? The ultimate All-American. He still looks great. One of the top stars out there in movies right now and commercials. And your Endeavor, who do you think you want representing that? Cena or Flair? I don't even have to answer that question. It's John Cena. Of course it would be.
Of
The way
course
these
it
guys
would.
already think, and Shapiro and Nick Khan, you know what I mean? It's John Cena. No doubt about it.
Nate G says, I'm praying we get a Doctor of Thugonomics appearance. People don't remember how great Cena was as a heel.
Yeah.
Tommy, when he first started, and it was I had been there for 5 years, I think, and the company was kind of teetering a little bit. And when he started doing his rap stuff and
Yeah.
taking off, it was like something I'd never seen before. I was lucky enough to be there for the launch of The Rock. I was there when Rock really took off. It was, you can't even describe it, how great
Nope.
it was. And then Cena comes along, and Cena is, his old name was the Prototype. He had this
Yep.
big old thick neck, and then all of a sudden he goes, you know what? If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in flames. It's going to be rapping. Remember, Tommy, we used to go to his rap concerts at New
Yeah.
Haven, those little
Yeah.
bars and everything. And who could ever,
Yeah.
but I love him. And you just described it beautifully. TKO is a Hollywood company, and you got to look at it from a lot of different ways. Merch, how you're going to sell guys, legends. Just think about the NFL and the Hall of Fame. They're always using guys for different reasons. Cena's always going to be a company guy. He's always going to be somebody they can call on and say, hey, can you go do this? Can you go do that? So you want to have him in a great position. And you can fill up an entire year, Tommy, of him winning at WrestleMania over whatever champion, being champion for 5 or 6 months, dropping it at SummerSlam, and then his last 3 months is just John Cena love everywhere. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, and he can make it happen too, man. He is such a talent. I remember him backstage. He'd come in the pre-tape room, and somebody would say, "John, just do something. Give me a subject. All right, horse racing. Give me anything." Somebody said the color purple, and like he would freaking. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't even put 2 sentences together.
He was so incredibly talented. By the way, quick update on Patrick Mahomes. Looks like he's going to be okay. He's running on the sidelines, so my heart is pumping again, so I can focus again. And we're tied at 17, the full fourth quarter to go. All right, one more topic, and then we're going to get the hell out of Dodge. Do not forget, we drop a new episode of Behind the Turnbuckle every single Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We will be picking up the interviews after football season, but candidly, it's just kind of a waste of time because there's so much content going on. But we want to really start getting the interviews going again as well. By the way, November 19th, Tommy, I'm going to be making a field trip. I'm going down to the Museum of Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. He was one of our first ever guests here on the show. He's got a like a car museum and a wrestling museum. And he said the only thing he wants as payment is an 8x10 picture of your boy to put up on his wall.
That's a layup.
A layup. Me on Fluffy's wall? Let's go one time.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the last one, Tanami, because this was amazing to me. I saw a tweet the other day that Jey Uso has sold more merch this month than Roman Reigns and CM Punk combined, which led Rikishi, Papa Bear, to say, what in the world are we taking the Intercontinental title off of him for? So now they're trying to write these storylines where it's Jay, Jimmy, kind of wanting Sammy back into the fold. He's family. He's not family. Tonight, I didn't mind The promo, I thought it was cool that Jay came out serious and didn't do the yeet thing, because sometimes it can't always be yeet, yeet, yeet. So I kind of like adding a little bit of depth, but man, I do think they still made a mistake taking that title off of him.
Yeah, they did, but it's not affecting the merch sales, right? So when creative see stuff like that, they'll keep the title off them, right? I mean, they're still
100%.
making big money on them. They got this Bloodline storyline. Now they're all going to meet on SmackDown this Friday night. Sammy, the OTC, Jimmy, and Jay, and they're gonna hash it out. This is gonna be a match at Survivor Series with those guys. I like Jimmy being a little bit of a heel here. He's been a heel the whole time, but Jay is just way beyond Jimmy wherever ever will be. I mean, Jay is just blown up big time. You saw that crowd when he came out yeeting on Saturday and tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. It is
What
just unbelievable.
when writers make certain lines, Tommy, and you know they're real. When Sammy said tonight to Jimmy, I don't hate you, or whatever he said, I don't hate
No.
you. I don't, he goes, but you just make dumb decisions.
Yep.
That's real life stuff right there.
Yes,
I
it is.
mean, Jimmy's had a lot of issues. Part of the reason that Jay Uso had to become a singles competitor is because of all the dumb decisions that Jimmy made. That's
Yep.
just fact. That's just
Yep.
fact. And so now that they're back together, I hope that Jimmy can keep things on the straight and narrow. But Tommy, what I saw at Crown Jewel, and Vince Russo gave me a unique perspective on this. He goes, I think it was Roman's decision, but Roman took a lot of stuff, and then he was beat 1, 2, 3 by Solo. And maybe it was a way for them to give Solo some real heat, and for them to say, okay, maybe he is on the level of Roman Reigns. But I was a little bit surprised, because normally in a 6-man tag, the biggest star does not take the pinfall.
Yeah, I was surprised it was clean too. It was a 1-2-3 clean. The only other guy to beat him was Cody Rhodes. So in a matter of how many 6 months, he's been beaten clean twice, and his
Mm-hmm.
4-year run as a champ not once. So what's
That's
going
exactly
on
right.
with Roman, right? What's going on with Roman right now? And I think it is good that he probably wants to do this to advance this storyline and maybe give more juice to Solo, right? It only makes sense. But
Do
in
you
the
know
long
who
run,
go ahead.
in the long run, OTC will get over.
Do you know who's in his ear? This screams one guy, Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you've got a big ego like a Roman Reigns, and I love Roman, but all these guys at this level, they think the winning's real. They know that they're positioned. It helps financially. It's about merch sales. It's about WrestleMania main events. It all plays into it. So for Roman to be willing, Tommy, to take a 1, 2, 3, in their minds are like, no, I can't do that. God forbid. I mean, look, Seth Rollins had to beat Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel. Why did he have to do that? So he could go to a fatal 4-way and tell Jackie Redmond, well, it wasn't what happened Saturday. Is my legacy. It's about what I've done the last 20. Then why'd you have to
Right.
beat Bronson Reed? Why can't you give him the rub?
Right.
You know what I mean? So maybe Roman gets it. I mean, Brock has always gotten it. Everybody thinks that Brock had to win all the time. He didn't.
Nope.
He didn't. Paul taught him. Paul's mind for the business, guys, I'm telling you. I wish all of you could sit in a seminar and listen to Paul Heyman talk about the business, because he gets it. Completely gets it.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens, Tommy. But certainly they're going to go to Survivor Series. Certainly they're going to take it all the way there. But then it begs the question, where do you go after Survivor Series to get to the Royal Rumble? Because December, I don't even think they do a PLE anymore.
I don't
And
think so.
does Rock play a part in this at all in your mind?
At Survivor?
Yes.
No.
You
I
don't
don't
think
think
so?
so. Nope. I don't think you're going to see Rock until Rumble, and maybe some Raws or SmackDowns before that. And that maybe he'll pop up then, because I think he's got a lot on his plate right now with Hollywood. And I don't think if we see him at Survivor, I'll be shocked. I will really be shocked if we see him at Survivor Series.
Did you notice tonight that they were running the promo for Red 1? Okay. And I want you all, when you watch the shows, to really pay attention to the
Yep.
details. Because if you watch all the way through to the stars of the movie, the guy who wrote the film is Rock's brother-in-law.
Yep.
And Rock's production company did the film.
Yep.
So now, Tommy, he's doing films that his own production company is doing.
Mhm.
So he is heavily invested in what's going on because he's now, quote unquote, footing the bill. So
Right.
he can't just go everywhere he wants. He's got to promote this movie like it was his biggest one he's ever done
Yeah.
because it might be the most expensive one he's ever done
Yep.
out
That's
of his
right.
own pocket. So it's
Yep.
going to be interesting to see what happens and where it goes. All right, Tommy. So everybody comes back from Saudi Arabia. We now have, what is it, 3 weeks, 4 weeks until Survivor Series?
Yeah, November
And
30th.
November 30th. So hopefully we will have a live watch along. We're also going to be starting some more shows during the week. We're going to call them emergency BTT pods. Whenever there's a big topic that breaks, damn it, we're going to come on middle of the afternoon. So I need you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on your notifications. So me and Big Tommy C will be there. And then Tommy, for those people who don't know, you're now a staple on Wednesdays on
That's right.
Driving the Line. I
That's
mean, you're
right.
becoming one of the top cappers in America, dog. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Thinking my Giants sucked on Sunday. And I'm gonna have a great rant on Wednesday.
Rant Wednesday. Yeah, if you guys don't watch DTL, I encourage you to watch it. We're on Stadium. We also are on our YouTube channel, simulcast every single day. Wednesday, when Tommy's on and Vince Russo is on, it's
That's right.
Rant Wednesday. I let Tommy's beef just go. He can
Yep.
talk about anything he wants to talk about, including
That's
the
right.
fact that you let Saquon Barkley go and he just had the best 14-yard run in the history of 14-yard runs. That was insanity. Absolute insanity. Insanity. All right. Do not forget, if you are a premium member, and if you are not, we encourage you to do so. We have a whole nother show called The War Room that me and Tommy do. That also drops on Friday, and we're going to be adding Q&As. There's a lot of stuff, and we're doing a new thing called the Gigaverse. If you haven't heard about this, you need to follow me on social media. It's going to be amazing, and you guys can actually be on the show on video. You think you ask questions now, you can ask your question on video. That's what we're going to be doing. All right. Thank you, Robbie. We'll see you in the AM. Thanks to Nate. Thanks to USD, all of you who tune in. I mean, we have such a big live audience for 10 o'clock at night. So thank you for Big Tommy C, producer man, for Dan the intern. I'm the coach. We'll see you next Monday night right here on The Last Word.